Hi guys, this is Dana with the Data, and today I want to talk about Africom and a connection with President Obama, President Ibrahim of Burkina Faso, and Dr. Umar Johnson. Yes, so let's get into it. What is Africom? Well, it was established in 2007 under President George W. Bush, but became operational under Obama in 2008. Dr. Umar claims in this clip that I'm about to show that Obama's role in expanding and legitimizing Africom's presence across the continent. Africom isn't about African security, but about securing Western corporate interests. And that is Dr. Umar's main argument. And I really have to agree with him here. See, the real mission is to protect U.S. military mining, oil, and tech interests, not African sovereignty or stability. Africom allegedly enables American corporations to abstract African resources, oil, minerals, rare earth elements without resistance. The U.S. presence discourages local governments or resistance groups from interfering with corporate operations.
Barack Obama was made president for two reasons: make the black community safe for homosexuality, and go into black Africa and make the resources safe for American corporate exploitation. That was it. He had a gay agenda and he had an African resource agenda, and that was it. That was it. Barack Obama built Africom in Africa. Africa Command, U.S. military bases strategically placed throughout Africa where the resources are. And now we have a president in Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, along with President Chiani and President Goita of Niger and Mali, respectively. They have built the Sahel Alliance, trying to make Africa free for African people. And now this House General Michael Langley, who's now the commander of Africom, he's putting out misinformation about Ibrahim Traoré, the number one Pan-Africanist in the world. I'm number two, but he's number one. And they're putting out misinformation about Ibrahim Traoré, saying that he's using the gold of Burkina Faso not for the benefit of his people, but for his own personal gain. Nothing could be further from the truth. That brother wears the same kind of clothes every day, eats the same kind of food. He did not accept an increase on his pay when he became president of the country. Extremely humble, just like Thomas Sankara. I believe he might be the reincarnation of the great Pan-Africanist Thomas Sankara, who actually changed the name of that country to Burkina Faso, who was murdered by his own best friend over power. And so what I'm seeing from Ibrahim Traoré and General Goita and General Chiani is exactly where Africa needs to go. Ibrahim Traoré and those other two brothers, all three of them, the Trinity, they are the most important black men in the world right now, because what they're doing is creating a reality that could potentially reshape how the world operates on behalf of black people in years to come. But they got a lot of enemies. And they even have house negroes in Africa working against them. So we got to keep them brothers, in their prayer. But that Africom that they're going to try to use to overthrow our brothers in the Sahel, that was put there by Barack Obama. He made Africom more popular than it had ever been before.
Obama's legacy in Africa is very much significant. While many viewed Obama as a symbolic leader for Africa, in the clip I just showed, Dr. Umar argues his policy, particularly the militarization through Africom, hurt the continent. Questions whether Obama used his African heritage to mask imperialistic intentions. He did. Because we all know his father is Kenyan, even though his father was not in his life growing up. But when he became president, black Americans voted for him, first black man, yada, yada, yada. And then he also had the connection to Africa. So the Pan-Africanists, they were overjoyed. The people in the different countries in the continent of Africa was overjoyed, especially in Kenya. So now let's go to the destabilization, not protection. Africom leads to more conflict, political instability, and proxy wars rather than peacekeeping. Cities increase military bases and drone operations as a form of neo-colonial control. This explains how the multinational corporations allegedly lobby for Africom's expansion to gain easy access to natural resources. Military presence ensures stability for foreign investment, but not for African people. Africom to the European colonies' armies that enforced control for economic gain during the scramble of Africa. So when we go back to 1868, the Berlin Conference, well, Africom is today's version of the Berlin Conference. Claims that this is a modern version of exportation, just with different players. This raises concerns about African leaders who permit foreign bases and what it means for national independence. See, this is where President Ibrahim of Burkina Faso comes into play, because he is completely independent of any European foreign country. Notes growing pushback from African civil society activists and Pan-African thinkers. The Pan-African community urges Africans in the diaspora to recognize Africom as a threat to self-determination, encourages investment in African-owned infrastructure and defense, not dependency on foreign military. That is very important. When you depend, whether it's foreign aid to feed the people in a country or foreign military to so-called protect the people in a country, you're not going to see progress. You're going to always see the opposite, an exportation, not only of the people, but of that country's resources. And the only reason why Africom was established is so that the United States can have a stronghold via our military in different countries in Africa to abstract resources for private corporations such as tech and oil, amongst other things. And they pay off these different countries' presidents and politicians to get rid of the red tape and to do whatever. So Africom actually harms the continent of Africa. And right now, Africom has over 50 military bases throughout different countries in the continent of Africa. And where does President Ibrahim come in? Well, he's saying we don't want the French. We definitely don't want the United States. We don't want no one. We are independent. We are going to build from within. If you want to do business with us, do business with us. And I think that's how you're supposed to be. They're saying President Ibrahim of Burkina Faso is the reincarnation of Thomas Sankara. And I have to agree with that. And in the next video, I'm going to go into more details about President Ibrahim. Because we're going to keep talking about President Ibrahim. We're going to keep talking about South Africa, because there are a lot of things going on in the continent of Africa that's really going to shape the future of the world. We all rely on Africa's natural resources, every single country in this world. That is a fact. And the United States, as capitalist as it is, want to maintain dominance forever. Will it last? I doubt it. Rome fell. Maybe one day United States will fall. Won't be in my lifetime. But now you have Russia, you have China coming into different countries in Africa, making deals, not exploiting. President Ibrahim of Burkina Faso, He's already making deals with Russia. Well, he needs an alliance, and you need a big heavy hitter to be in alliance with your country. But it's a trade deal. It's not dependency. And that is the difference. They're not dependent on Russia, but we could do business with Russia. Just like the United States, we're not dependent on Qatar or Saudi Arabia, but President Trump just inked $1 trillion deal with the Middle East. It's all about the deal. And it's all about maintaining independence. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Dana with the Data. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit that like button, and make sure you guys comment below and share your thoughts on this video. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.